Welcome back to DominateDominion number 63. Here is L3RD, the bird, getting in some words for the semifinals matchup. You might know both these two teams. We're going to go refer back to the round 2 matchup as well, but Pays Evelynn Child Support, we have Cheese Enema. Maybe you've heard of these two teams, possibly, being one of the top contenders in DominateDominion in a whole. Or when we had them coming in live for the semifinals matchup. But the last match we did see over there some great action between the teams of Sophia Cox and the Minion. Unfortunately, the Minion going down, falling down, and getting out of this tournament for this one. They're going to go up against Clueless. We'll see if that will actually work out for them. But yeah, coming back into this one, yes man, Kablam is going to be co-commentating over here. And what do you see so far with the chat bans? And overall, after all the bans, who do you think is the favorite of this one?
Okay, so for chat bans, we've got Teemo, Elise, Jace, and KZ. So those were 4 of the same bans from last game. So for people who weren't here, let's recap. Teemo gives you excellent jungle control with his Mushroom ultimate. His blind is very good at shutting down both bruisers and AD carries. He puts out some good auto attack damage after he's got a few items. But I don't think he's a priority ban, but he is a character that you have to play around. If he's on the other team, you kind of have to change your playstyle. That's something a lot of teams don't want to deal with. So sometimes it's just easier to kick him out of the game and make sure he's not in there. Elise, very common ban. Dual kick characters are always broken on Dominion. Elise has 6 buttons to press to most people's 4. And she's got the stun, she's got a lot of damage from both the spider bomb and the neurotoxin, and then when she turns into a spider, she can repel, which is a great reposition, and a nuke dodge, and she has an execute skill and an auto attack steroid. So she's got a lot of stuff packed into her kit. She puts out a lot of damage, especially if you build her as a glass cannon, which a lot of people do because she's got a strong reposition. Jace, another dual kick character. His acceleration gate and shock blast combo, as we've seen, does a lot of damage. Once he gets the last Whisper Infinity Edge, he presses Hypercharge, someone's going down. No questions asked, doesn't matter what items you have. And then, he's got even more buttons to press, he can do even more damage. He's basically an AD carry with some peel for himself, some more utility packed into his kit. Most people don't want to deal with that, so they just take him out. Kha'Zix, probably the best assassin. His Enlarged Claws, if you evolve his Q, easily does the most damage out of any non-ultimate skill. Any assist or kill will give him a reset on his evolved E, so he'll just be jumping around like it's a House of Pain, and he will bring the pain because he does a lot of damage, and it's pretty hard to respond to him when he's jumping everywhere and just taking out half your life with one skill. So that's a character most people don't like dealing with. And let's go down the list of the in-game bans. We got some different stuff this time. I believe some of these bans are targeted. I'll take Trundle and Evelynn together because I believe both those bans are targeted towards Cheese Enema has a new bottom lane player, Corval, but those are both bans based on bottom lane. Trundle is a strong bottom lane character because he beats basically any bruiser. If you ever bring a bruiser bottom lane, Jace, Jax, those are 2 common picks. I can't think of any others off the top of my head, but Trundle's going to beat him. You can cut him to death, but then that requires you counter-picking him. And also, Trundle can potentially go top where he's very strong with his Pillar of Filth. His W, Frozen Kingdom, gives him a lot of sustain, and then his ability to steal AD will make him wreck both bruisers and AD carries alike. So that's a character you don't want to deal with. Evelynn, I am 99% sure is a targeted ban at Lurch. He enjoys taking Evelynn bottom lane, which is a pretty unorthodox pick. I don't know how it functions specifically, but I know he's very good with it, and it's very difficult to deal with. Otherwise, Evelynn's a good character. Her invisibility actually inverts her usefulness. She can't just face check bushes, because if someone's in the bush, they'll see her before she sees them. But it does allow her to walk on the outside ring where there's no fog of war freely. So it actually, it's kind of like reverse jungle control, if you can believe that. Which is very strange, but it's a unique strength to her, and sometimes you have to readjust your play for that, and if you don't want to get outside of your comfort zone, then you can just ban that out. Amumu is, we've talked about him, #1 tank, very low skill floor, very easy to play. It's kind of hard to mess up with him. A little easier now that his ult is shorter range, but he does a lot of damage by himself. He's got one of the longest range stuns with a hitbox the size of the screen. He does a lot of solo damage. The MR reduction on his passive is extremely strong, and his ultimate is a team fight changer. So that's something most people don't want to deal with. Going down the other side of the list, we have Kassadin. Kassadin is just the playground bully of Dominion. Like, you're waiting on a slide and then someone just teleports in front of you while farting purple gas, and then he pushes you in the mud, so now you can't run anymore because you got mud on your sneakers, and you can't tell on him because his dad is the principal. So there's no response to him. You know, silence, slow, teleport, doesn't follow the rules of engagement. If you have Kassadin on your team, I think the game is going to swing in your team's favor 7-3 by that pick alone. That is how strong he is. Wukong, a lot of damage. Armor Crush, his invisibility allows him to escape and dictate the method of engagement. He's got a gap close on a relatively short cooldown, and then his ultimate is, I believe, the highest scaling AD ability in the game, in addition to be a knock-up and AoE. So that's a lot of damage coming out. He's a little naturally tanky thanks to his passive, so that's not anything most people want to deal with. Very common ban. And then Nidalee, we've talked about her before. Godlike poke, hits you with one spear, you're out of the fight. Either you're dead or you got a recall. And then her traps, kind of like Teemo, 12-second reveal, 40% armor MR reduction. She can lay him down everywhere. That's not anything you want to deal with. 12-second reveal is devastating in the jungle because that's 12 seconds of anywhere you want to go, they see you. So that's not something most people want to deal with. And in addition, dual kick character. Her Cougar form brings a lot of AP damage. Her passive makes it very slippery in the jungle. Not something you want to deal with. Very difficult character to kill. So much easier to ban her.
All right, going in with the bans and explanations again. Great job by Maam, Kablam. Kind of reminded me of a little bit of Gander right there with the Kassadin reference. Yeah, push him in as a bully. That's pretty much classic Gander right there. And unfortunately, Gander could not join up with this cast L380, the Bird getting its awards with YMK. And, you know, we appreciate all that he's doing at a special location that I will not say has 3 letters. And is in California for some reason, but yeah, there you go with that one. And
so
yeah,
he's in NYC, right?
Yeah, NYC. Yeah. Definitely. Pays Evelynn shots. We're going to be on the blue side. She's Enema on the purple/red side. We're going to be getting down the summoner blockers at the moment for you guys as well. And yeah, looking at the team comps, obviously very standard, right? Especially on She's Enema's side, right? Or am I totally off?
I don't know about standard because I'm looking at the team compositions for the first time right now because I was talking about bans. We got some orthodox picks, we got some unorthodox picks. So I'm especially liking actually Cheese Enema. They got some I would say hipster picks going on there. So let's take a look at purple team. That is Cheese Enema. They are one of the stronger teams in Dominate Dominion. I think you know, up until recently they would be uncontested number 3, contested number 2 possibly, but there's been a lot of roster changes recently. But they're still definitely a contender. There's a reason why they're in the semifinals. So I'm looking at their team. It's kind of hard to, I know for a fact that Corville is probably their bottom lane player. So that's probably a Janna bottom lane, which is an interesting pick. She's not very good at killing the enemy bottom lane, but she's good at stalling it out. So, you know, you just, every time they push up to you, you just kill the creeps and then you walk off. And with the shield and the slow, it's pretty difficult to kill her, and the knockback from her ult. So I think with a Janna bottom lane, you're kind of putting the gamble on, I'm just going to leave this 1v1 as a stalemate and just kind of like let it sit there, and my team will take care of the 4 against 4 top. And what we have up top is we've got 2 tanks. We have Alistar and Blitzcrank. Either one can be played alternatively. You could, if you're really crazy, you can play an AD Alistar, which is one of the funnier bruisers to pull, but it's incredibly difficult to pull off. And you have Blitzcrank, who's kind of he can do whatever you want. You can literally roll a roulette wheel of all the LoL items, and then 5 of them put him on Blitzcrank, and he's still a good character. His pull is an extremely strong skill, and then the rest of his kit has a lot of crowd control in it. So between Alistar and Blitzcrank, they're bringing a lot of crowd control with those 2 characters. And then they have the Assassin, Talon, a lot of AoE damage. The invisibility makes them somewhat slippery, although we will probably be seeing a lot of Hextech sweepers, so that's going to get neutralized. And then the Kayle, although I know Lurch is also a bottom lane player, so this could be bottom lane Kayle, so I'm not sure what's going to happen here. But that's a lot of damage coming from both Talon and Kayle. If Kayle goes bottom, then I'm going to think that Cheese Enema's damage output is going to be a little lacking top, though we could see a Muramana Blitz, which would be a lot of fun, because that does do a lot of damage once it gets rolling.
Yeah, once you get the knock up with your E, it's going to be double the damage off on top of that, probably a Sheen as well. So, I mean, double, triple, quadruple, lots of good damage coming up from Blitzcrank. Should be really cool to see, although I believe Lurch should be going up top as well, because it makes more sense that you have like the protection and all-in engagement from Alistar, and then you have both the ultimates coming in with Alistar's Unbreakable Will, and then you have the intervention coming into play. That's a lot of damage prevention and a lot of tank as well. Looking on the other side right quickly as we go into the spectator mode delay, or not the spectator mode delay, but the actual game. Pays Evelynn child support, looking pretty orthodox comp, I would say. I mean, you still have the J4 coming into play over there. I don't remember all the rest of the picks, but it's pretty orthodox, I would say.
It's fairly orthodox, except for the Nasus pick. I'm going to guess that is a Nasus bottom. He's not a strong character top, but bottom, what you kind of do is the infinite sustain strategy. Trundle is pretty much the king of that, though Nasus is a pretty good imitation. It's like the imitation crab meat. It's still good. It's not really crab, but it's good enough. And what you do is, I believe you max E, and then wither means that if they ever engage on you, you wither them, you walk away, and you farm up until you get the Hydra. And with all that lifesteal, plus Nasus' passive, he's a very difficult character to kill. And then with his ultimate, he can tower dive you if he wants to, because by that time, you're really big, you've got a lot of AD, and that tower damage is very ignorable. So I'm going to bet on Infeed's Nasus going bottom. And then the top is actually very standard. This is almost traditional Dominion here. We got four very strong picks. Zyra, we've been over her. She is Kite, Poke, Queen. Free damage from her turrets all day. You can't burst those down. And she can be on the other side of the screen, and our plants will be doing free damage all day. Brand is the king of AoE mages. And in fact, last week we saw a perfect Jarvan box in with his Cataclysm. Boxed in 3 people on the enemy team, and Brand popped his ult, and that was the end of the enemy team. So there's a very good combo going on with Jarvan and Brand. Also with Zyra, her ultimate, it's an area knockup. So we could see a lot of area damage going down with Jarvan and Zyra doing the setup, and Brand finishing everyone off with both Conflagration and I can't remember what the name of his ult is.
Conflagration on top of Pyroclasm.
Thank you, Pyroclasm. And then Pantheon, very strong character. He's fallen out of favor recently. I don't think he's any worse. He's just not popular for whatever reason. And he brings a lot of early game damage, a lot of burst. He's got a little bit of survivability with the passive, not much. He still gets blown up by most mages, but he's mostly an AD assassin, much in the style of Talon. But at the same time, he brings a little more, I believe his spear has longer range. He's got the stun, so a little more utility there. And his long-range ultimate gives him that bottom lane gank presence, which is probably his most valuable asset once his damage scaling starts falling off, probably around the 12-minute mark.
Yep, and I will say that it's going to be a really interesting take for Panzer to go. Probably rotate around from top and gank over bottom as well, just because, you have the ultimate. You might as well use it to teleport somewhere else on the map, so I'm liking the mobility aspect of it. Will it actually come out? It will be the first 3 to 5 minutes to really show that one up. Tear of the Goddess being built out from the Blitzcrank, and really quickly, this is the difference between Summoner's Rift and the Dominion/Twisted Tree Line Tear of the Goddess. You get double charges from that, so I'm liking the Tear of the Goddess in general from everybody who's buying it out. I'm liking this one coming out for Blitzcrank.
The problem is a Tear of the Goddess start means you don't get any particularly good items at the start. So that Blitzcrank, he got a Ruby Crystal, but he's going to be a little bit squishy. And wow, Cheese Enema is going for a sneaky strategy at the very beginning here.
Yeah, they're going to go on the Blueberry. Blueberry going to take a lot of damage from the front side, but now they're going to go get on the MKH. MMKH did take a lot of front damage, like you said. Not a lot of tank, not a lot of anything. Super Calvin going to get cut down, but does not get killed off the Grasping Roots. MMKH going to come back into the fight. Lurch now going to be taking a lot of damage. They're going to see everybody zoned out over here. Great protection. Really interesting play coming out from Cheese Enema, but unfortunately not going to be enough to capture up the windmill.
Yeah, I can see that Cheese Enema knew they had Alistar+Blitzcrank. That is crowd control machine, and they were really going for that gambit there, and it did not pay off. And looks like we got some action bottom lane with Cheese Enema quickly readjusting, ganking bottom, putting pressure on that Nasus early because we know that once Nasus gets that Hydra, then Janna is going to be in a lot of trouble because even with the kiting, he's going to be able to clear creeps quicker than she can. And here's a gank from Pantheon.
Yeah, Pantheon going to clear up over in that bottom lane. Actually took me by surprise over there. Good job by the Pantheon. Panzer's going to be able to pick up that kill. And yeah, I would say that's true, but also as well, Janna with a little bit of AP can go a long way with clearing out waves, but it's not Summoner's Rift, it's Dominion, so it's a little bit different in that case as well. Painkiller going to be picked up in the middle, Panzer's going to go try to 4v1 a team. I don't think that's probably the smartest idea, and it's going to be taken down from this one. Calvin going to get a lot of good damage. Hopefully he's going to be the one focused on getting all the kills, getting all the gold for himself.
And that was a very smart play by Pex there. They saw two of their own get caught out, but all their revives were up, so they didn't try to go all in, and they just caught their losses and said, you know what, we have 3 points, our teammates who just died have revived, so we're just gonna leave them out to dry, and then we're going to create a new situation right here with Calvin's Talon getting caught out, and force to retreat. Force to use his ult defensively, which is what you always want Talon to do.
Yeah, definitely. And if you can't use Talon's ultimate to actually get around, get more assassination, get more attempts of killing, well, you're not going to be really using them to a offensive advantage. So Lurch going to be here trying to defend over at the point. One thing I will say about Cheese Enema's team, I mean, yeah, if they do have to defend points, they do have quite a bit of disruption over with that Blitzcrank Alistar combo, and on top of that, they still have the damage coming out from Calvin. Gonna go in onto Carnival, gonna get pulled in his Painkiller from MMKH. Great pull in. We do see an intervention going down. Lurch gonna take a lot of damage from Panzers. MMKH gonna go dead down from the conflagration. Calvin gonna be the double kill off of that one. Carnival gonna be traded off for the life from Talon, and Lurch now gonna chase around. Blueberry gonna try to pick up one more shot. Not gonna get the kill. MMKH getting back on from the revive. We're going to be able to pick up the Brand, and that will be a 2v2 overall, but that's with the help and assist of revive.
And that is the power of revive right there. Cheese Enema had saved their revives from losing that initial fight, and they took what was initially Brand kind of styling all over everyone with all the AoE damage, and they revived immediately and turned it back into an advantageous situation for themselves. So it looks like they're going to be getting the windmill off of this. Although Janna left an empty net, and now Nasus is going to neutralize that bottom point. And it depends on how aggressive Nasus wants to go. If Nasus really wants to, he could stall out this bottom lane for quite a while.
Yeah, and it's going to take that advantage even more. So Corval getting slowed down through the Wither and Infeed going to be able to push out Janna for just another day. Lurch going to come in to assist and support. Can he actually get the Divine Reckoning to actually slow down Infeed? Infeed's going to try to go for this fight. Going to wither down onto Kayle. Kayle going to chase down. It is going to be Karad coming out from the side. Headbutt, but no pulverize. While on the other hand, PCS, Pex going to be able to pick up the windmill.
And you know, when you see Nasus getting this much of an advantage early, when he, if Nasus is outplaying you to the point where he decaps your bottom point this early into the game, you're in trouble because Janna is never going to kill Nasus. He's just too beefy. He's going to get lifesteal. Even with all the AP in the world, her cooldowns are just too long to burn through all that health. And so we see Nasus already with a Sheen. I'm guessing he's going with a Ruby Crystal. I don't know what that's turning into, but I mean, once Nasus gets a Tiamat, he doesn't even need a Hydra at this point because Janna's overall damage output just isn't high enough. That bottom lane is going to go out of control. So Cheese Enema might want to start looking into putting a leash on that giant dog because otherwise that's going to go out of control real fast.
Yeah, he's going to go rampant all around the map, and well, technically just rampant on the bottom lane. I would say that Infeed's going for a Trinity Force possibly. Oh my gosh, he missed a kill over in top lane. Great job by Talon over there. But yeah, I mean, that would be the best thing that, well, Nasus can do. Just keep on pressuring, getting a lot of damage, and getting that utility through the move speed. Critical strike of that Trinity Force. Calvin going to pick up 2 kills over at the top lane. Dark Lord Blueberry, can he get out of this one? MMKH chasing him down through the last little bit. I think Blueberry could actually kill MMKH at the moment, but unfortunately going to trade off with his life over there and going to miss off on the passive from Zyra.
And we see, you know, Nasus is just doing the AFK farm strategy. Just farm, farm, farm. if Janna is very much a stalemate bottom laner, and stalemating is what Nasus wants to do for a good 15 minutes, and then he can just roar, rampage, and just run over the opposition. And let's see, what is Janna building? Yeah, Janna is getting a very fast witch cap, hoping to be able to outrace him on that pushing race, but I don't see it happening at this point. Although She's Enema has control of the windmill, so if Janna can maybe stall, or Talon+Blitzcrank can come down for a gank and put him under control, and it looks like this is going to be successful right here, then things can go back into She's Enema's favor, because we've seen She's Enema win a few of these top fights, and if they can keep that stuff under control, then they're still in this game.
Yeah, but we do see, again, 3 people over in top lane. Krog gonna go try to get up this disruption. Lurch gonna come up from the side. Can he actually help out his Cal friend? And now we got Lurch gonna be using up the garrison. There's actually Krog. And now Krog is gonna try to disable again onto that point. Gonna get 1-2 knockouts, but he's gonna get hit the intervention down. But that might have been a bad situation with the damage coming out from the Pyroclasm. There's gonna be a 2-for-0 over there. While on the other hand, Push Up over in bottom lane is going to be able to pick up the quarry for the team of She's Enema.
And I really liked that decision from She's Enema to apply the 3v1 pressure in bottom lane and leave it as I believe it was a 2v4 up top, giving up the windmill, but they captured the bottom point in trade. And the reason why you would want to leave that disadvantaged fight in bottom lane is because Brand's damage is more or less proportional to how many enemies he has in sight. The Conflagration and the Pyroclasm scale with how many enemies are near him. So when it's only 2 people, then he's actually not as dangerous. Ironically, as that whatever the word is, ironic as that may seem, that's an overall damage decrease for him. So that's a good play in taking a champion out of their comfort zone. Brand likes that AoE damage. He really wants more people to hit. So in 1v1 or 2v2 situations, Brand isn't quite as strong, although the Pyroclasm will evaporate 2 people, but that presumably will create an advantage somewhere else.
Yeah, and definitely is going to be ganking over in the bottom lane will help out the Nasus as it is going rampant yet again over at the bottom lane with Corval. But Corval having the Wiglet is going to be able to sustain just a little bit more. You have Pantheon actually picking up a killer over in top lane and then chase out on the Cow. The Cow going to try to get out of there. This is off the grasping roots, but nothing else. MMKH now going to try to disrupt over at the windmill. And I'm pretty sure he can try his best. He'll try his best 300 stand, but you're not the Pantheon. You're not the person that we were looking for. Unfortunately, they were looking for Siffer Calvin, and they're gonna get him for 1-for-1 trade. Finally, I'm thinking Pace Evelynn Child's where it finally gets this windmill point.
Yeah, and the game right now is actually neck and neck. Things are going back and forth a lot. There's a lot of attention being paid to bottom lane, and both teams are responding very well to strong side, weak side. When they see a bottom lane gank going down, they respond by applying pressure to where they see the other team isn't. And with that kind of, these are both top tier teams for sure, and we are seeing a very close game as a result.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the score right now, 329 to 299. MMK trying to pick up the relic at the mid. I mean, able to get that bonus health damage up for himself. He's going to go back up to the windmill, I'm guessing. 2v1 over bottom lane, and Nasus is going to go get yanked upon. Going to wither down on the Siffer Calvin, but does not matter. Actually, Corval going to push out the way for himself to get into the way near the health relic, but Siffer Calvin still putting that own up. And we were going to be able to pick this, defense point for a little bit longer. Unfortunately, it was not enough.
Oh, and we saw that power play, and we see She's Enema just invading Pex's jungle and really pushing this power play, taking the bottom point, and I won't be surprised if they take the win. Oh, actually, no, they're not going to take the win. Alistar's not going to be able to take Jarvan 1v1, but I think if Kayle actually had accompanied Alistar to the top, they're going to apply pressure to the mid. So that was a very good split. They took 2 for nothing on the bottom, and now they are applying pressure throughout the map. And Pex is kind of forced to scatter, and they don't have the team fight advantage they want. With characters like Brand, Zyra, and Jarvan all together on one team, you really want the 4v4 or at least 3v3. Without that, if you split it into 1v1s and 2v2s, Cheese Enema is definitely going to have the advantage. So as long as they can create that, then Cheese Enema is in pretty good position.
I was going to talk as well. Season 2 Dominion, well, the beginnings pretty much of Dominion in general. You saw a lot of people taking exhaust, and that's what you see with Cheese Enema right now, having like 3 exhausts for the team. I think it's really for this Panzers to just drop down, kill down the Pantheon that it has just gotten double kill over top lane. But they have thought about this matchup just quite a bit. I'm liking the plan. Hopefully they can keep it going. Right now it's still looking a little grim for them at the moment though. It is pretty even at the pace, and it is still pretty even 4-point score. Carnival going to try to get on the Krog. Krog going to go headbutt away from the refinery point, and we're going to see if MMKH and Lurch are going to try to get in for the help.
And you can see the team fight here. They split off into a 3v3. Brand getting jumped on by Talon, and that is exactly the situation they want until Pyroclasm goes down, and that one spell just turned the whole thing around. That looked like a very bad situation for Pex right there with Talon on top of Brand. Couldn't finish the job. The Pyroclasm goes down, evaporates 2 of them instantly, and Pex comes out on top, even with Alistar tying down Jarvan, so there's very little appeal for their carries.
Yeah, Carnival now going to be taking a lot of that damage coming in from Lurch and Calvin and MMK. Come back a little bit alive, a little bit frustrated from that one. And they're going to be able to take over the windmill point instead from that one. But it was a great Pillar of Flame hitting down from Brand, getting that double kill over there. And like you said, I mean, yeah, his damage is decreased with a little less people, but still can do quite a bit of burst. Panzer is going to do quite a bit of burst on Corval. Going to have to use up the Monsoon to get out of there. Now Barry going to help out onto the chase. Unfortunately, catching Janna is like catching a tornado. You kind of don't want to, and it kind of goes away sometimes. So unfortunately, not going to get that one over there. But Carnival is going to find a big robot and a big cow. They're going to go get the Cataclysm on, and now this is a 3v1 at the moment. I don't think Krog can really save out his friend. I don't think that Krog wanted to actually go in there after, well, MMK just died down. Krog going to be taken out as well, and that's a 2 for 0, pretty much free. While we do see Pantheon jumping over at the bottom, trying to pick up on Lurch. Lurch going to use intervention and be able to take down on the Panzers. Panzers going to go get the heal, going to try to get the crits back, but now can get helped out from that painkiller.
Very smart response there by both teams. They saw that Blitzcrank had been caught out in the enemy jungle. So Alistar cut his losses, tried to delay him as long as he can. Kayle went down to the bottom point to secure the quest point. Very smart. And then when blue team had actually finished up in their jungle, they split. Zyra took the top point so they could have the overall point advantage. Then Jarvan neutralized the middle, so someone would have to respond there. And unfortunately, Cheese Enema lost out in the end, unable to secure that bottom quest point. So good answer to Blitzcrank getting caught out in the jungle by Janna and Kayle, and then even better response by Pace, Evelynn child support by capping both the top and the enemy mid to force them into a split.
That pull over there by MMK trying to disable Carnival for just a little bit longer, trying to get the minions to finish up the point capture. Unfortunately now 4v2 with the tanks only taking the damage down. It's a little bit like Cheese Enema's tactic. I mean, you saw them split up the whole team, and this is just coming in the same fruition. This time Pace, Evelynn child support is splitting up the whole team of Cheese Enema, and Cheese Enema can't really do anything alone, just being a little bit too squishy, and separating the damage is not going to be good, as we do see Civic Kevin taking on 1, but there's still 3 people alive for Pace, Evelynn child support. They're going to be able to pick up that windmill point, and they're going to keep on pressing at this advantage.
And that was not the best response from Cheese Enema. When they saw that they were down 2-4, they really should have cut their or actually they were down 4-3, and they really should have just cut their losses. Talon tried to go in and sneak in a kill, but he got killed as a result. They weren't taking that windmill anyway, not with players just as good as they are. So they really should have retreated, gathered up, and forced another fight, 10, 15 seconds later, like they're about to do right now. But instead, Talon kind of gave up a kill that he really didn't have to.
We're going to see catch up with the plants, and this is where the zombies actually eat that alive, and we're going to see her go down. Unfortunately for Zyra, now going to be splitting up from the team. It is J4 and the Brand, but J4 going to be caught out with the Pantheon, but Pantheon going to do an immense amount of damage, at least to trade off. That is Carnival going to pick up 1, and Booberry going to try to pick up on the MMKH. MMKH going to be a little bit too tanky, going to get out of there, but now Carnival going to be looking over the top lane. Krog going to go disable as he can. Lurch going to try to push up the kill. The Cataclysm not going to be enough. Hydrocosm not going to be enough. And now we're going to see Lurch going to be saved. No, he will not. And it is going to be Carnival trying to pick up the Cal at the end of everything. With Kayle going to be picked up at the end. It's looking like this point's going to be secure again for FaZe, Evelynn, Transport. And we're at the windmill.
And, you know, with all this fighting going up top, they're just kind of leaving bottom lane alone. And as I predicted, this is going to be a stalemate lane. Nasus has not really been showing any respect to Janna, just spending a lot of his time just sitting behind the enemy tower and just farming up minions. No respect there, basically showing that he doesn't fear Janna at all. But it looks like that Cheese Enema is going to take back this windmill fight, or take back this windmill, unless Zyra can stall them out, which she is very good at doing, even in a disadvantaged situation.
She does have her ultimate ready in prime, so she could use the Stranglethorn to use something, and then they go use it for this capture. It is going to be the take and kill from the Grasping Roots as well. Great job by Blueberry getting that double kill over at the windmill. And wow, that is looking really good for the team of FaZe, Evelynn, Transport to finish up the semifinals matchup and go on to the finals at the moment. Anything can happen. Dominion, Cheese Enema has shown some really good promise. I mean, they've been pretty much neck and neck. Right now they're down, but they could bring out some strategies to get back out of this one.
Yeah, it's still a 150-point game, and 150 points, it's a lot, but it's not that much. You know, Pex definitely has the advantage. Cheese Enema can't make as many mistakes. Basically, that's what the countdown timer means. It's how many mistakes you're allowed to make before you end up losing. And right now, you know, I would say that Cheese Enema has maybe 3 mistakes they're allowed. With 80 points on the clock, you have about 3 mistakes you can make, and then it's game over. Pex has a lot more leeway, so they're allowed to play a lot more aggressive. They can make a few mechanical mistakes, and they'll still be in the game.
Yeah, we'll see if that will happen. MMK is going to go pull into Panzers. Panzers going to get intervention upon. Great job by Lurch to be able to pick up that help and assist. MMKH, and they're going to get Cataclysm upon. But that cleanup kill by Siffer Calvin should be enough to at least delay it down. Siffer Calvin going to go over the top lane. Carnival going to be traded out over there with the honky of the knockups coming in from plays. And yeah, headbutt, then the pulverize coming in. Carnival should be able to pick this one up, but Lurch going to be taking a lot of damage down. Now Krog has to be able to finish up Carnival. I don't think this is going to actually happen. Oh my gosh, gets the headbutt through, but still gets the health relic as Carnival, and Carnival should be able to just get out of there. Recapture that point, that is neutralized, but it is going to be the windmill point, at least going to use Enema off of this one.
And as I said, you know, when the points are out of your favor, your respawn timer goes down. So that is the comeback mechanic of Dominion. So while you're not allowed as many mistakes, when you do make a mistake, it can actually kind of turn into a weird advantage. If you trade 1 for 1 while you're down, that's actually good for you, because you will be respawning, I believe, 2 seconds faster. So you get a power play, and while 2 seconds doesn't sound like a lot, it can easily be the difference, especially with really bursty team compositions.
Yeah, I will have to agree. Death timers is one of the things that was talked about quite a bit during PCS's run of, well, major wins each and every time, and I mean, that's something that they kind of take to heart at the moment. Although they do have a different lineup, I mean, it's not Zyra anymore. There's some interesting other players into there. But, I mean, it's still the same factor in Dominion. You have to control what is going to be happening on the map, even at the 20-30 minute go. MMKH not really controlling himself on that one, though, and be able to get picked off from the refinery.
That was a very interesting reaction from Pex there, because that was just a solo Blitzcrank, and they sent the entire team to go after him, which actually, once they saw that, that freed up Sifu Calvin's Talon to go gank bottom, and Pex is responding now, but they had to burn a garrison for it, and okay, it ends up in their favor anyway. But that was a very dangerous play by Pex by sending all 4 for a single Blitzcrank, because that was a very big power play, creating a very weak side on the map for them, which Cheese Enema took advantage of.
Yeah, we do see Krog going to try to disable yet again. Garrison going to be used by Krog. They held up this point, but now Painkiller and Panzer's going to try to kite it down. To be able to pick up that kill onto Krog, but they're going to try to take away this windmill point and try to take away some more points all from the team of Cheese Enema, who are holding valiantly, but not really going to try to take this one down. We'll see if Evelynn actually hold off on the windmill, or they're going to try to go back from this one. Unfortunately, Super Calvin already made their decision a little bit faster for them. Panthers going to be caught out in the bush. Calvin going to get intervented upon really early from this one, so there's 2 ultimates going to be down. Can they actually pick it up? Yes, they will. Cutthroat and damage down. That's going to be enough from Super Calvin and Lurch. Going to be the little teaming that one on top.
And down bottom, MMKH and Corval, actually both Blitzcrank and Janna, took out a 2v2. So if they get this quest point, actually, this is going to swing things in Cheese Enema's favor pretty hard, because that quest point is an instant 20 off of your Nexus health. And, you know, this late in the game, that's 20% of what you have left. And right like that, we've got an even game again with a 4-cap in Cheese Enema's favor. And this... Early on in the game, you get 4-capped, 2 points a tick, not that much, because you got 450 to give up. But when you only have 60 to give up, that's a problem, and we might see an upset, because Pex is typically the #1 pick, but they got dethroned last week by Clueless, and they've been beaten by Cheese Enema before, and it looks like they're in a position to get beaten again.
Yeah, Krog and everybody at least going to neutralize this point for the refinery. Oh, Krog's going to do his 300-man stand yet again. MMKH going to come off from the side. Blueberry taking a lot of burst damage from that blocking robot. And now we're going to see that MMKH going to be backing away from this one. Going to try to go for another pull. Going to have to refresh for his timers. But the neutralization on that point still in there. We do have Super Calvin still pushing in. We do have Nux to be able to pick up the bottom lane. And Pantheon coming in. Going to jump in onto Super Calvin. But he's going to get knocked right out. Oh my gosh, the damage coming out from Panzer's E, and that was just a lot, but it is not going to go on to Kayle. Kayle going to be able to pick up 1. Can he pick up the second one on the Painkiller? Intervention was down, unfortunately not going to be enough to take out, but MMKH off on the side, doesn't get the pull, but does get the capture on the quarry.
But it looks like a lot of Cheese Enema's team is down right now, and Pex is splitting pretty well, and they will have a 3-cap if they can get Blitzcrank off this point. They already did. And that's going to be a 3-cap with bottom still uncapped for Cheese Enema. So Pex is going to have the advantage. But with 13 points left on the clock, the next mistake Pex makes is going to be game. So they have to play a perfect game from here on out. Otherwise, they are out of the tournament.
Oh, well, they'll be in the 3rd place matchup for sure. But Super Calvin going to go in, going to find a plant, going to go cut through that one down. It's looking pretty grim for the teams for quite a while for Cheese Enema, but Cheese Enema said, nope, we're going to stick through, and well, they're at this point. They're up in points, but they're down in the captures at the moment. Windmill is going to be the talked about point for this game. MMKH going to go get caught in. Can he get out? He's going to get pulled on the Panzers. Double knock up all the way. Super Calvin going to go get that damage down on Panzers. But oh my gosh, Panzers comes out alive from all of that one. Can you believe it? He's still going to get alive from this one. Holy bejesus. Going to be able to get out of there. And I think that might be the game-sealing matchup right there. Panzers, that last line defense, that last line of health. My gosh. My gosh.
Yeah, the Cheese Enema has exactly 1 play left to make. They are not allowed to make any mistakes. And if they go for that windmill, I am 90% confident that they're just going to lose it, because it's going to be another 4v4 with Brand in Pex's pocket, and that's not the kind of fight you want to force against a late-game Brand. So, but they don't really see any other recourse. They gotta try to decap this half-decap top, but not going to be able to do it. MMKH Blitzcrank gets caught out on the way to the windmill. He's out of the fight, dead. They're gonna get the neutral, which is going to stall out the game. But if they don't win this fight outright right here, then they're just gonna recap, and then it's good game.
Yeah, we're gonna see Krog gonna try to go for the back cap, but we do have the neutralization on that windmill point. Gonna go into the favor of Pays Evelynn Childsport. Krog gonna try to go fight up Blueberry, but now we see the Pantheon coming in. Pantheon gonna go ult, but not gonna be able to pick up the kill. Infeed now gonna just help up, disable, destroy, and conquer for the team of Pays Evelynn Childsport. Gonna be able to pick up this win barely by the skin of their T Corval. Gonna be talked to by Infeed. And that should be the game all she wrote for this one. Congratulations to Pace Evelynn Childsport winning out the semifinals matchup. Wow, but it was a really, really close one no matter what.
That was a very good game, very close. I think towards the end, if Cheese Enema had tried to force a fight without Brand in it, then things could have easily gone the other way. I was really liking MMKH's Blitzcrank build. it's pretty unorthodox. You don't see items like Muramana, Iceborne Gauntlet, and Last Whisper in the same build, but it was kind of a very cool Bruiser Mana Tank hybrid that really isn't going to work on any other character. So I really enjoyed that. That bottom lane proved very interesting. Looking at the scores, you would have never thought that Nasus did well at all, but I believe Nasus did exude enough pressure on Janna to force She's Enema back to bottom lane to help out a lot, which gave them a lot of advantages up top. And, you know, Brand is just being Brand. Every time there's a 3v3 or a 4v4, Brand really just vomits damage, and you got to find a solution for that.
Yeah, I mean, it just came out of that one and unfortunately just kept on spewing down. And, well, I mean, a lot of it has been said, but it was a really, really thought up, really well spent out match. Unfortunately for the team of Cheese Enema, it just was not enough to lose out by 13 points. That's an accomplishment of their own, but they will have to face that in the third place matchup coming up for them next. But we're probably going to be going to the finals really soon. Pace Evelynn Child Support, probably against Clueless, I would say. But, I mean, you never know. But we're going to be coming back with this one. It's L330, the Bird getting in some words with Yes Man Kablam. And we're going to be back from this one. Don't you fret, don't you worry. Be right back.